Hope everyone is doing good. Okay, let me just pin this comment. Awesome. I'm super excited about this one. I've always been curious about Pinterest myself, so this is going to be awesome. So we're going to just wait a couple of seconds. There she is. Hi, Emily. Okay, I'm just requesting to go live with, and then hopefully no tech issues. My internet's been playing up a little bit this morning, so this is like the second time. Hi,
Hello.
how are you? You look great.
So do you. I'm so glad we're doing this.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, I've been super excited about this. I was just saying too, like Pinterest is always something I've been really curious about, but super overwhelmed about.
We hear that so much. People are like, I hear Pinterest is amazing, but there's so much going on inside
Mhm.
of it.
Oh yeah, totally. Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. So welcome and thank you for joining us this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are in the world. So I made it back to the States from the UK. I'm live here in Denver right now, and I'm live here with Emily from where are you based right now? Because I know you're
I
traveling.
yes, I am in Florida right now, so I'm
Oh, so
pretending that I
jealous.
live in the sunshine.
I know. So jealous. Well, anyways, thank you again for joining me for another one of these boss
Absolutely.
interviews. And I'm super excited to just, feature amazing individuals doing amazing things. And Emily is awesome. So I've always like really admired her content. So you guys are in for something really amazing today. So
She's
I'm super
great.
excited. Well, I was definitely like really pumped up about having you on. So when you said yes, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so good. So I'd love to introduce you all to Emily. So Emily Parsons is the founder of Let's Get Social Agency. Let's Get Social Agency using Pinterest marketing to help e-commerce startups become more profitable. Emily founded Let's Get Social Agency after noticing a need for innovative marketing at an affordable price. And Emily loves helping business owners grow their brand, increase engagement, generate quality leads, and ultimately convert those leads into sales. So with that being said, thank you so much for being here on this Q&A today.
Absolutely. I was like, wow, that's a good little intro.
I know, right? I'm just like, I should just do everyone's introductions. Let
Yep.
me mute this. Okay, awesome. So first of all, can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got started? Like, how did you end up in this space?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the time, I was working in corporate America, actually doing product development and sourcing for a baby clothing company, and went into this position thinking there is going to be so much creativity. This is going to be amazing. And I learned really quick that that wasn't actually the case. And so I needed this creative outlet. And I started a lifestyle blog, and through that, really started to notice a need for affordable marketing for a lot of startups. So that's kind of how I dipped my toe. And then once I started working with clients and just kind of seeing the opportunity and need out there, I never really looked back.
That's awesome. So if you had to
Yeah.
narrow it down to like one thing, what would you say is like the one favorite thing about the work that you do?
Oh goodness. I would have to say it's watching business owners who have been utilizing Instagram and Facebook and spending money on ads, watching their face light up after we show them their analytics from Pinterest, and just for them to be able to see how much qualified traffic is being sent to their site, and then that's turning into sales, and just hearing from them like, this was one of the best decisions I've made. Those are the things that I love, because you're able to actually help these businesses, like you're helping them launch their dreams in a way
Yeah.
through Pinterest. So it
Yeah.
kind of all comes full circle.
That's awesome. Well, I feel like now as I'm hearing you share, I'm like, I feel like we're missing something here because like we're totally probably sitting on a gold mine with Pinterest.
It's
Well,
crazy. It really is. I mean, it's been around for 10 years, and I feel like people are just now starting to get warmed up to it. So yes, everyone's kind of sitting on a gold mine.
yeah, totally. Well, I totally use it for like, recipe inspiration and like,
Hmm.
like DIY for home stuff. And
Yep,
then for the longest,
absolutely.
yeah, and for the longest time I was calling it pin interest until someone like had to correct me. So,
I love
oh my
that.
God. Super funny. Well, anyways, I'm definitely really excited about diving into this topic. And yeah, so obviously I know it's been around for a while, but why should people like start using this platform?
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, as a business owner, your job is to make sales, it's to make money. And with Pinterest, you can actually see your marketing dollars at work. So you're able to see how many clicks down to each pin. So you're able to see like how many clicks each pin is driving to your site. And then on your back end, you can see what's happening to the customer. So that's like the main thing is you actually just have so much data to work with. The second thing is that we like to kind of call Pinterest a dumbed down version of Google. And
Mm,
so it's an SEO driven platform. So for you as a business owner, specifically a startup, when you are creating content on Instagram, Facebook, and even Google, you're really fighting against a lot of name brands. Where Pinterest users, they don't go into Pinterest and say that they want Nike tennis shoes. They go in and they type, what are the best tennis shoes for high
mm,
arches? So there's just a lot of opportunity within the space, and you're not having to fight against these brands who are spending thousands of dollars on ads. You just have to really know your stuff. You got to know your keywords and your
mm.
audience.
Yeah, no, that's really great advice. And I feel like you're totally just like scratching the surface on this.
Yes.
Um, so what would you say are like your top 3 tips for entrepreneurs getting started on Pinterest?
Absolutely. So the first thing, you want to make sure that your audience is on Pinterest. Even though the platform is growing, there are some industries or products that your content's just not, people aren't searching for it on there.
Yeah.
So the first thing is make sure that your customers are there. The second thing is to have a very clear SEO strategy. So what keywords are you going to be utilizing and what's trending on Pinterest? So those would be your first 2 things. And then from there, it would be consistently creating content. Pinterest
Mhm.
has recently told us, we've been doing Pinterest marketing for a while, even back in the day when it was pin 60 pins a day, repin. This is
Yeah.
how you grow millions of viewers. And over the last year and a half, it's been really cool to watch Pinterest make this push to fresh content. And so as a business owner, you no longer have to feel this pressure to be producing
Uh,
mass amounts of quantity of content. Instead, you can focus on creating 3 to 5 pins that have those keywords, and then Pinterest is just going to continue to work for you.
that's awesome. I'm so glad that you shared that because it's like I think that's probably why I like so totally subscribe to that old school
Yeah.
thought because I was just like super overwhelmed. It's like how do you have success on Pinterest? That's awesome. So can you debunk the myth that you need a ton of followers to get started and have success on Pinterest?
Yeah, absolutely. So, because Pinterest is an SEO driven platform, you actually can generate more clicks on an account that has like 10 followers or even
Mm,
zero than an account that has thousands of followers because you're utilizing keywords to get your content in front of the right audiences. And
mhm.
so, we actually, when we're managing Pinterest accounts, we don't actually look at followers. That's the one
Oh,
metric that doesn't actually really matter. So, with the rollout of pin stories, you are seeing accounts really start to grow followers. But I mean, we were generating tens of thousands of clicks for clients and they had 500 followers. So,
oh.
really, that's not the place to put your energy in Pinterest. And that's also super exciting.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad that you shared that and you just hit on that too, because it's like at the end of the day, like I know everyone gets sucked into like the followers piece.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, that's awesome. So next, how do you know what makes content like pinnable, if that makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's the one thing, everyone is always saying, I want my house to look like Pinterest.
Yeah,
So, what actually is that? And it's
totally.
really, yeah, I feel like we all have those Pinterest inspired
Yeah,
rooms.
yep.
And the thing with Pinterest that is super exciting is what's pinnable is going to actually look different from brand to brand. So, because your customers are different, when you start to dive into your audience, and Pinterest provides so much information into what's trending on the platform, at the end of the day, like we like to view each pin that's being created as what's the end goal with this pin. So, is this pin, is it just made to inspire people? Does it have information that they're going to want to save? And does it have a call to action that's going to get people to leave the pin? So you'll see a big mixture between kind of those Pinterest perfect images, and those are great for like home decor and style. And that's a lot of the content that people are going to save and they're going to want to reference later. Like that's the inspiration. But as a business, we're really wanting to create content that's engaging and it's going to get people off of Pinterest. So
Yeah.
that's going to come to creating those pin graphics where you have one of your keywords inside of that graphic itself. That's going to get you into those rankings. And then that's going to become like your Pinterest perfect pin because it's doing what you want it to do, which is generate traffic to your website. So it does look different, niche to niche. And like right now, we're doing a bunch of Valentine's content and we're already looking at like
Uh,
St. Patrick's Day. So really depending on what your brand is. it can,
That's
but there is that nice mixture of like lifestyle and graphic.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Because I'm thinking now, like, every time I look at a Pinterest feed, it always looks like so perfect. But
Right.
yeah, you're totally right about that. And funny story, like, when you're talking about like how like, your house and like even food, like there was like a whole chain of even like Pinterest fails. Like,
Oh, right.
that's too funny, but good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I think you have a really good point. If you take a food blogger, for instance, they want
Mhm.
to grow their Pinterest following, they want to grow their impressions. And that's going to be done through creating recipes that people can actually save on Pinterest. But
Mhm.
you also want to get people over to your site. So you can definitely play around with the imagery, and there's going to be some that is going to boost those saves, and then some that's really going to increase those clicks. So we always
Yeah.
like to just kind of have a very clear customer journey from the time they see your pin and then what happens next.
100%. Have you noticed that when you're growing like Pinterest, does it grow like the other channels as well? Like, the Instagrams and Facebooks?
Yeah, so that's honestly, I feel like one of the top questions we always get is like, can I use Pinterest to grow my Instagram? And we've seen that really work with bloggers,
Mhm.
especially like fashion and travel bloggers. Because you're able to actually claim your Instagram account in the back end of Pinterest, you'd be able to see how many clicks and how much traffic you're driving to Instagram. So that's really great. And then if you're an e-commerce business, we like to just really focus on getting people to your site because that's where they're going to be able to like digest all of your content, get on your email list, and then make that sale.
Yeah.
But yes, it has benefited a lot of bloggers.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and then something that you said too about the e-commerce side, it's like, the whole point is like to get them to your site and to let your
Yeah,
sales page and your site do the work.
100%.
That's awesome. I'm really like surprised to hear like how data driven like Pinterest can
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why we also love it is we can actually provide our clients with like the the hard cold numbers. Like you got all the info, and that's great because as they're our clients, we want them to succeed. They also like need to have that information to see that what we're doing is so much more than just creating these beautiful
Yeah,
graphics.
no, exactly. Totally. So what is your process for making content on Pinterest? Like, do you have a team or a content scheduler that you recommend?
Yeah, so this is such good timing because we actually have been talking about this over on our agency's account. And so we use Canva to create
Mm.
all of our pins. We're really creating mass amounts of content for our clients. And so my business partner runs up all of creative, and then we have a team that helps create all of the pins. And so Canva is our go-to. And then just recently, we've always used Tailwind. We're actually doing some experimenting, talking with Pinterest, and we're actually going to be pivoting to be focusing more on creating content inside of Pinterest, just with some of the updates
Yeah,
we've seen. So
that's awesome.
that's a little bit like TBD. We're still pulling all the numbers because that's what we do with
Yep.
Pinterest, but definitely Canva. We just actually did a tutorial on how we create 30 pins in 30 minutes. So it just really
Oh, that's
allows you to
awesome.
batch that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I'll have to have your other page linked here too, your agency
Oh,
page
yeah,
as
for
well.
sure.
You guys can check that out if you're catching the replay. Okay, so last question. I always love to end these Q&As with action steps. So what is the one thing you would recommend today to these young professionals and young entrepreneurs to do today as it pertains to getting started on Pinterest?
Absolutely. So I think the thing would be to actually create a business account. Um, we, if you're my age, which is like your late 20s, you know that Pinterest has been around for a while and you've probably been utilizing it to just inspire your daily
Yeah.
life. And that's amazing. But there's so much potential. And we're just seeing Pinterest make so many changes to the platform itself. This is your perfect time to create a business account and start seeing if your audience is on Pinterest. And if they are, start slowly creating content. Even if it's just one pin a day that's going out, that consistent, that's 30 pins a month. So that consistent amount of content over time is really going to build up. And the amazing thing about Pinterest is that the content just builds on top of each
Mhm.
other. So that would be the biggest thing is start establishing that brand on there and start really becoming clear on like your keywords, because that's how you're going to be really successful on Pinterest.
Yeah, that's so inspiring. And I feel like I'm inspired too, because I feel like, after, having this conversation, like we're totally sitting on a gold mine, like
Yes.
100%. So thank you so much for sharing your story and, like just your advice
Absolutely.
around this as well. Like it's just been really like exciting to learn more about like how you can totally use this to like market your business with low cost and not have to spend a fortune on marketing, right? Um,
Absolutely.
so for people with more questions or if they're interested in working with you, like how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so the best thing to do would be to reach out to our agency. So it's Let's Get Social Agency on Instagram. That's really where we are everywhere. But we have some different options. We have a really great Pinterest course that walks you through everything we do. So it's a do it yourself. And then we do offer done for you monthly services. And all that information lives on Let's Get Social's account.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for
Absolutely.
tuning in live today, or if you're catching the replay. I hope you took a lot of notes. Like there's a lot of gold gems in here. So this is definitely good. But please, as always, let me know your thoughts and feedback, or if you'd like me to have Emily on again sometime. Any final thoughts from you, Emily?
I just want to say thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. This
Yeah.
is the first time I've done a live Q&A.
No
Uh,
way. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm
yes,
honored that it was me.
I
You're
know.
both
And
fun.
now I'm like, I saw you're on Clubhouse. I'm like, I'm gonna have to bring you into a Clubhouse room. We'll have to do all this stuff.
Totally.
But I'm so
Oh
glad
my
we were able to connect. And thank you again for having me. This was really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much and hope you have a great rest of your day. And
Thank
definitely,
you.
I will connect your agency in the handle as
Awesome.
well so that everyone can
Perfect.
get.
It's awesome. I say it's also in my bio as well.
Oh,
So it's
perfect.
tagged there too.
Sounds good. All right. Well, have a great
Awesome.
day. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.